time. Let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Coach Kenny with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goalposts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any Kenny could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest, Chris and Dev like the master, and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they run it back on the real. That's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.
Welcome to Real Talk on the All Sports All Players Network. I'm Kenny, Coach Kenny. I'm switching roles tonight. I'm moderating, and I got my guy, Sports Talk, Chris. Chris, what's good, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. Can't complain too much, man. Love coming up in here on Thursdays, Mondays and Thursdays, talking sports with the fellas, man. So I'm excited.
For sure. Now, tell the people if they really trying to make some money in this parlay game, tell them how they need to tap in with you.
Listen, man, sportsw_Chris. We've been hitting parlays left and right this week. I got a nice surprise for y'all tonight. Smacked out on Monday, smacked out yesterday. So I'm definitely going to let y'all know something at the end of the episode.
All right. And and you could also, with me, you could follow me, Coach_ANY, pretty much everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, Clubhouse, Instagram, YouTube, all like this stuff. And the NCAA Video Show, which is the place and platform for independent creatives. Matter of fact, I was texting with one of my people that I'm working on the show for. So we got some new episodes coming soon. And we got a trailer. I got a trailer that's going to drop tomorrow on my social medias. I need everybody to show me some love and go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a goal of getting to over 100 subscribers. So I need everybody to go to, it's my name, KENITHN, as in Nathaniel. Rest in peace, man. I'm named after my grandfather. Last name is Moore, M-O-O-R-E. Or you should be able to find it at Coach_ANYKENY. So everybody tap in with me. And we got more content coming your way. So let's get started. So Angel Reese has been in the headlines. We know that she, her and the LSU Tigers went down to Caitlin Clark in the Elite Eight. And so, Chris, my question to you is, she's been catching a lot of flack, a lot of fire, coming in a lot of fire. Saw her getting emotional in the post-game presser when Flaw J came to her defense. So let me ask you, do you think that the criticism has gone too far?
When it comes to the off the court stuff, absolutely. There was reports that she was getting death threats I've been hearing and all that stuff like that to that nature. All that stuff is way too far. If you're going to criticize her game, it needs to stay about her game. If she wants to trash talk, do all that stuff, that's fine. But for all the negative things I'm hearing about her outside life, all that's way too far. Because when you talk about the player performance, it should be their performance, and that's it. So everything outside of her performance, I don't agree with. Now, when it comes to her skills and what she does on the court, I think some of that trash talk is kind of warranted. I'm not mad at it too much because some of the things they're saying are true. She's a great rebounder, yes, but she has some flaws when it comes to her offensive skill set. So when it comes to the on the court, criticism, okay, I see where y'all going to a certain extent, but anything off the court, I don't agree with.
Yeah, I'm with you. Um, I think it's one of those things where what happens is that when when we shine and when we do our thing in a different way. We express ourselves in a different way, and not everybody's able to relate. Not everybody's able to understand. Not everybody's able to, catch our swag, catch our, our flavor and our style.
Hmm.
So, and then also the powers that be, some of them don't like the fact that she's making more money than, you know
Then
what I'm
them,
saying?
yeah.
Right. More money than WNBA players, with her NIL deal. So
Hmm.
I think she's just catching some flag just because she stands in who she is and she's unapologetic about it.
Hmm.
So I think that's really what it's all about.
And like they took it to another level. I understand, she trash talk. Now, like I said, I definitely never agree with how they took it to another level. She trash talks. She has all her antics on the court. So off the court, off the court, y'all take it to another level. If you want to comment on her trash talking, and then want to go back on her trash talk words, that's one thing. But all the sexist comments, the racist comments, and things like that, that's too much, way too much, and they got to stop that. So again, if you want to talk about what she's doing on the court and her trash talking, that's one thing. But to take it anything outside of basketball, I think people need to really take a step back and evaluate themselves, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. And we live in this society, man, that it doesn't matter how well or how hard you try, you just can't please everybody. Somebody's gonna have something to say. So I don't care how well you craft your image or how
Hmm.
well you do your thing in terms of how you move. Somebody's gonna have something to say. So you just got to
Yeah,
be true to yourself at the end of the day.
it comes with the territory. People saying, "Oh, she's a villain," or there's no such thing in sports as a villain. I mean, well, let me not. There is villains in sports, but she's not one of them. She's just somebody that's charismatic and somebody that trash talks a lot, but that doesn't make her a villain. Again, so you want to talk about her trash talking, and then you know going back on them words maybe, or not having the same energy. Okay, we can talk about that because we've seen that. We can talk about that. Keep the energy you have on the court. You want to point at the crown. You want to say that you're the best. You want to point at your ring finger. You know, we can talk about those things. But again, the sexist comments, the death threats, those are unwarranted. We're talking about sports here. Like, we're not talking about somebody that has a real, like, granted, athletes are, have impact. But at the same time, we're talking about players that play with basketball. They should not receive death threats. Nothing they do should warrant death threats.
For
Flat
sure. No, I totally agree. But that's why it's fan is short for fanatic.
out.
And it's what I mean. It's
Hmm.
just sometimes people just take it too far, and it's nothing that
Absolutely.
you know. We just hope at the end of the day that people don't actually act on these impulses and just
Hmm.
do the right thing. You know what I
Because we've
mean?
seen it in the NBA as far as players, trash talking Russell Westbrook, and then we see Malice in the Palace. So we've seen players trying to take the kind of, I mean, not players. We've seen fans kind of take this next level and do a little bit too much. And I remember we had our stance on that, and I said I feel like Russell Westbrook, he should have been able to go to the stands and talk to that fan in Philadelphia.
Right.
You know, because you
Right.
out your mind if you think you're gonna talk to another person like that. But that's a conversation for another day. But regardless, man, I mean, great talent, historical college career. You know, we can just leave it at that.
For sure. And that actually leads us to our next topic.
Hmm.
Um, Angel declared for the WNBA draft, so
Mm.
college
Were you,
is
were you
decided
surprised on that?
a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I actually
Hmm.
said I had commented on somebody's post that she's gonna come back because she's making more money in NIL than she would in the WNBA. But
Hmm.
after thinking about it, I'm not surprised because she could still make that same money off the court because it's an endorsement deal.
Hmm.
So And now she doesn't have to worry about school. She just focus on basketball. So I have to. I can't say that I am surprised. But the question is, and our topic for tonight is, where do you see her getting drafted?
And this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of surprised she came out. I watched the WNBA in the summer, and I've been getting more into it. And one thing I'll say is rebounding is a key. And when I look at Angel Reese, her biggest skill set, her biggest trait to me is what she does on the glass, offensive glass and defensive glass. She's a monster. So when I look at the mock drafts, as far as not the draft order, we know Caitlin Clark's going number one to Indiana, right? You
Hmm.
have LA that has two lottery picks, which is the number two and the number four pick. Number two, I think, is going to be Brink coming out of Stanford, the 6'2" forward. Um, Three is Chicago Sky. Mock draft saying they're going to go with Rhea Jackson out of Tennessee. And now
Okay.
four, they're saying Cardoza. Cardoza is going to be the number four pick. I'm sorry, coming out of South Carolina. That's where, if I'm the Los Angeles Sparks, I may consider bringing in Angel Reese. When I look at one, again, the rebounding skill set she could bring, that's essentially what you're bringing in Cardoza for. Yes, Cardoza has some offensive talent, but Brink is really going to be your scoring forward. Angel Reese can do the same thing as far as rebounding. She could defend, and her offensive game, it can still improve. She just got to work on the post game. She has to work on a little mid range shot, but other stuff she can improve on. As far as rebounding, she already has that. So if I'm
Hmm.
the Sparks, I'm definitely going to bring her in because one, she's going to help us sell tickets. She's going to help us. She's already her own brand. So having her there is definitely going to help you as far as the business aspect. And she's definitely warranted of a top six pick. So it's not like she's lacking skill set. Cardoza is amazing. Let's not get that twisted. But if I'm the Sparks, I'm strongly considering bringing in Andrew Reese for the fact that star power in LA. When you look at Los Angeles, you always think of star power, and the Sparks lost their starting point guard and their starting center in off season, so they need to bring in a lot of help. And why not start that with your front court of the future with Brink and Angel Reese? So I have her going number four to the Sparks. I think that just makes too much sense. If I'm LA, I'm trying to sell these tickets because I lost my two best players.
Which was literally going to be the thing that I was going to say. Why the LA is a great look because she has the marketability, she has the the it factor and all of those things. She
Mm-hmm.
has the buzz behind her. So LA would be a great place. But I will say another thing that I agree with is that she's gonna have to work on her game because like right now her
Absolutely.
shot, yeah, she's got that chicken wing like Ben Simmons.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah,
Until I watched
yeah,
her warming up, and it has a nasty hitch to it.
yeah. So she's gonna have to work on that and
Hmm.
get that, getting the mechanics smoothed out. But that rebounding, that's a skill that can translate on any level.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So the fact that she does that and does it so consistently
Mhm.
is going to make her, it's going to cause her to have a successful career. Because you could rep that, you could fix that. You got guys out here like Lethal Shooter and
Mhm.
people of the
And
like.
you can get with that. Honestly, it's not that hard to fix as far as like what she needs to improve on. I'm with you. It's really really one move and a counter. That's all she needs to work on this year. One offensive move and a counter. You don't need 30. You don't need to be Hakeem Olajuwon your first year. Honestly, just one move and a counter, and then like I said, that jump shot because man, like rebound her rebounding skill set. And like as much as we talk about how dominant she was and the paint this that, and the third, no. The fact that she is putting up 20 rebounds, 16 rebounds, all these rebounds on a consistent basis. When I'm looking at Cardoza, if you're bringing in somebody like Brink, that's why you need to have your other forward being a dominant rebounder because the girl from Stanford could hoop. She can put the ball in the basket. So I think those two could be a dominant front court duo.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, so this is going to be fun. This is
Hmm.
going to be an interesting draft. And we talked about it before, but we really got to get with our guy Mike Hughes and get his thoughts on this as well, because I'm sure he's got a lot of thoughts in terms of, especially with Angel Reach and the draft in general.
Yeah, because the Sky had the number three pick, the number eight pick, and then in the second round they have the 13th pick. and there's 12 picks in the first round, so you essentially got three top 13 picks. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the Chicago Sky lost one of their best forwards, guard slash forwards in all season. So I think they want to be, two behind, or maybe getting Angel Reese at 3. I don't see her going to 8. I don't see her going past Washington or Minnesota.
Yeah,
So, and
yeah. The one I saw.
I know they're not gonna let her slip down, slip down 12, because the dream is nice.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
the
And
dream,
that'll be
or New
another
York, or
great
New
place.
York,
Oh yeah, you put it with Ionescu. Like yeah. You got that
Stewart in
inside
there.
outside.
Hmm.
Yeah, Stu. Yeah, definitely. But I saw the mock I saw had her going 8. So it's all over. Those things are all
Yeah,
over the place. So you never know
you
how
definitely
things are gonna
you're not
gonna
lying on
pan
that.
out. You know what I mean? All right. So look, let's switch gears a little bit and talk some NFL.
Hmm.
We had a big trade go down.
Woo!
A big trade go down. He was the first
Yeah.
one in our chat to let us know what happened. And so Stephon Diggs got traded
Hmm.
to the Houston Texans. So what does this trade mean for the Texans?
Second best team in AFC. I'm not, after last year, I'm not putting nobody above the Chiefs. They're kind of being that they're in that Patriots realm where every year you kind of default have to put them in a category until they actually get beat. Um, Sadly, but that's just what this Chiefs are now. Depending on how this all season goes, but you're definitely, to me, the second best team in the AFC. When you bring in a guy like Diggs, when you already have Tank, when you already have Collins, then you have Schultz as a tight end who did his job well. You bring in Joe Mixon. That offense, honestly, on paper, is like the best offense in the NFL. Then, as much as I want to talk about the offense, bringing in CJ Stroud, and we talked about this show in a while. The best time to build around your team, to build your team, when your quarterback's on a rookie deal. So that's when
Yes.
you go in and you go get all the star power you can. Then I look on the defensive end, which nobody's really talking about. You bring in Jeff Okuda, who kind of struggled with the Lions, but he's with the Falcons last year, and one of the reasons why they were a top 10 overall defense. Then you go and you also bring in Daniil Hunter, who's been one of the best pass rushers quietly for the past couple of years. So you go add in two staples to your defense.
Hmm.
And yes, the Diggs trade was amazing. And I was the first one to be hype about it because, one, this is going to be my team on Madden when I'm not using Eagles. let's let's just get that out the way. But their star, and their team with Joe Mixon, he can catch the ball at the backfield. Their team, I think they're going to lean a little bit more to the run, but when they have to pass, CJ Stroud's not going to make that many mistakes. Me and my friends, we was talking about having a discussion. I said, right now I'm taking CJ Stroud over Josh Allen. And I don't think this Bills team, we're going to talk about that, had nearly the same amount of weapons that this Texas team has. So when I'm looking at this Texans team, already I was a huge fan when you bring in Okuda and when you bring in Hunter. But you add in the fact that you bring in a guy that's been flirting with the top 5, top 10 wide receiver for the past 5-6 years. Come on now. I can't think of it. I can't personally, off the top of my head, think of a second team that's going to take them away from being a team to beat as far as going against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I want to look at it from another angle,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm down here in Jacksonville in AFC South Country.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think I'm with you in terms of them being the second best team in the AFC. But I also think that this basically says that they're going to run the AFC
Oh,
South for
absolutely.
the next 2 years.
Absolutely. You're not lying on that one.
You know what I mean? So any Jags fans, I expect
Mm-hmm.
I expect some Jags fans to want to be a part of our fan rant segment. I expect so because first of all, you get rid of your number one receiver and you
Mm-hmm.
bring in a backup quarterback. Like you got to make it make sense. Like that's not helping your team. He's not even going to see the field unless Trevor Lawrence struggles, which means you're having a bad year. So, and then you see what Houston does. And then D'Amico Ryans, he's already proven that he's a high quality head coach in his first year.
Mm-hmm.
And now you get you get a number one to go with these guys. And then Diggs doesn't even necessarily have to put up the numbers that he put up in Buffalo.
Nope.
You got weapons. You got Dalton Schultz. You got Dell. You got the other young guy that Nico. Like they got three and a number one running back. So everything is in place to your point for Houston to not only run the AFC South, but to also make a really give the Chiefs a run for their money. So
Yeah.
this is all yeah, it's all bad for
Hmm.
everybody in the AFC South. Y'all can hang it up because the only chance you got is if they can't stay healthy.
Honestly, and before this show, I talked about how much I love this roster. Towards the end of the season, I said, man, I saw a lot from the Colts, and I saw enough from Anthony Richardson his first few games to tell me that I think he's going to be a tremendous quarterback in the NFL. I like, I'm not saying he's going to be great, but I saw enough to say that the potential is there. So I was real hurt that he got hurt last year. I'm looking at what the Titans are doing this offseason, and it's not going to make up for the fact that how bad they've been after they, lost the AFC Championship. But I see them making strides. And Jacksonville, I don't know what they're doing down there. They're a team I'm not even going to, talk about. But I think what the Texans did really separated themselves from the competition as far as that division. And their only competition is going to be themselves. And when I look at this team and how they were coached last year, when I look at CJ Stroud, how he showed he can be a leader, I look
Great
at
voice.
Diggs, and Diggs is a guy that was just on a team that had a lot of expectations. I don't see him bringing in any negative drama to this team. I look at Joe Mixon; he was a running back that went to the Super Bowl. So you bring in two vets, which two vets that's been to AC championships and made playoff runs to this young team. Good luck. Again, I'm not going to say nobody can beat the Chiefs, but when I look at when I look at the AFC in totality, they're by far the second best team. I don't want to say they're the first team because again, betting against Mahomes, unless you my Eagles in the Super Bowl, you can't do it. But or Tampa Bay, I give them their credit. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'll say this: they're definitely going to be the team, and they go against the Cowboys too. Uh, I hope Diggs guards them because I'm betting them for 100 that week.
Oh, that
Just
would be
saying.
great. The
Just saying.
brothers going up against each other,
Just
that would
saying.
be must see TV.
Just saying.
Uh, for sure. Um, so we touched on the Bills. So let's go there.
Hmm.
Has the championship window closed for the Bills? Are they officially in rebuilding mode now?
Oh yeah. Oh well, they have 11 picks this year. And I think when you look at 11 picks in the NFL, you can honestly change your roster. You a lot. You with 11 picks, you can really start your rebuild and almost have it complete within one draft. So if they're able to hit on this draft the right way, I think they're going to be super competitive. But as far as championship contending, that's out the window. They lost that, and it like ever since they got Diggs, it feels like year after year the roster has got worse. And this offseason, I have the list. I'm mad it's not coming up, but they lost about 8 pieces this offseason to a team that already has been depleted year after year after year, and they lost 8 pieces. This is not the same Bills team when Stephon Diggs first got there. We were saying they had a chance to beat the Chiefs. Nah, it's not that team. They lost all their wide receivers. So now they have Curtis Samuel, they have Matt Collins. Those guys are good. They're number 2, number 3 receivers. You have no clear cut number 1. Your defense, you don't have no clear cut lockdown cornerback. You really don't have great pass rushers. I'm sorry, Von Miller has not been the same. So this team, if you ask me right now, today they're the third best team in their division. Third best team
Oh
in the
yeah.
league. And
Oh,
unless
so
they
you
hit
got
the
the Jets and Miami one and
Jets in
two. I mean,
Miami,
or whatever
yeah,
order.
either or. I haven't really
Got you.
considered who I want 1 and 2 yet. I got to see how the
Nah,
rest of
I'm
the
with
all
you.
season plays out. But the Bills definitely missed their shot. And the blame can go all around. You can put the blame on Allen. You can put the blame on Diggs dropping passes. Regardless, this team did not get it done. For the past 4 or 5 years, or however long Diggs has been there, this has been quote unquote the second best team in this division, and they have not got it done. The Bengals, they came in, they made it to a Super Bowl. The Ravens have let people down. The Bills have let people down. It feels like the Bengals the only team that was able to beat the Chiefs when it mattered and actually compete for a Super Bowl. So as far as the Bills, they better go back and look at them 1990s, films, and because it's gonna be some heartbreak some more. At least y'all went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Y'all
Oh
not even making
man,
it to one now. I feel bad for you. I honestly do, because that window is gone.
man.
And
Yeah,
Josh Allen, I think his numbers are going to be amazing as far as okay, now I'm about to run for 1,000 yards, maybe pass for a certain amount of yards, but they not winning nothing. And I hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm wrong, so somebody can play this clip. If there's a Bills fan or somebody that's going to jump on the Bills bandwagon, because I don't even know no Bills fans, hope they play this clip. But as of today, and when I look at this roster, it's just not a championship roster. And it hurts
no,
because
that's
I,
just
I, I
facts.
was a bit I was rooting for the Bills. We talked about this on the years how good this team could be if they made the necessary steps, which they did not make. And so the fact that they're kind of blown up, I'm not surprised.
No, it's just facts because you just you're basically putting this whole team on Josh Allen's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw this past season when he had to, or when he tried to do too much, he became a turnover machine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do you expect anything different if you're a Bills fan? Because now it's even more so on his shoulders, and he has pretty much no weapons. I mean, the
Yeah.
weapons he have are like second, WR2s and wide receiver
Oh yeah, they
threes.
brought in Curtis Samuel, Matt Collins. Curtis Samuel
Yeah, these
was
are
barely
twos and
number two, and
threes.
Matt Collins, he barely even got the ball over to Atlanta. But granted, they had no quarterback. But again, what did you bring in to help your team? Even if Diggs was still there, bringing in those two guys really didn't move the needle.
Oh yeah, yeah, and honestly, it's clear. And then the really the kicker for me is you ate $30 million just to get him out of town.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help. It's like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't figure out a way to get a talent like that to be able to be successful with a number one quarterback and a number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And all this did, and Chris, for what is it, about 2-3 years now? We've been doing this show. What is the one position we've been talking about the Bills need to upgrade?
Running back, running back,
Running
running back.
back.
And this is no disrespect to James Cook, who had an amazing year. But outside of the 49ers, what team is really a really one running back system?
Absolutely. It
I mean,
hasn't. It hasn't.
it's rare.
It's always been in tandem.
Mm-hmm. And they never brought that true
Yeah.
number one in.
So
And they
it
had
is what it is.
opportunities. They had opportunities. They could have brought in who they could have. There's a couple more people that they could have brought in. We wanted them to bring in Dalvin Cook. We wanted them to bring in so many different running backs throughout these past couple of years. And it feels like every running back they had a chance to, they let them go. They let them go. And now we're at the point where we're at today. Now they have no receiver. They have 11 picks, though. I will say this.
Yeah.
When it comes to closer to the NFL draft and we start covering their team, if they make the necessary moves, either draft or trades, not they're going to have to make those right moves. I don't want to jump the gun and saying they're going to do this and that. But if they make the right moves, I will not be shocked if they actually they actually flip around to be super competitive this year. But again, this is not Madden. This is real life. This is because Madden with 11 picks, you can be a Super Bowl team. So this is real life. So we're going to have to wait and see, what they do.
No question about it. And I think that, this is going to definitely make or break their GM's career because you're eating dead cap. You got 11 picks. You have to hit on at least 7 of those picks, and they got to be immediate contributors in order for this to be a successful job and in order for you to have any chance of having a winning record. Because if you don't have a winning record, we said the same thing about the Bears GM. The two of these guys are on the hot seat. If you mess this up in both situations, you made a big trade.
Mm-hmm.
If you mess this up and this season blows up, both of you are going to be on the unemployment line.
I say two, at least there 3 out of the first 6 picks need to be receivers. 2 out of the first 6 need to be receivers.
Yeah, I would say 2 and then a running back.
Because not even running back. Their defense is like when Josh Allen first took the starting job. Like because again, we watch sports around here. We just don't look at highlights. We really watch sports. So I was, watching this team when they had Tyrod Taylor at the helm. I was watching this team when LaShawn McCoy left the Eagles and went over there. So this is a
And did
team,
work.
I was looking at, and they were really built on the defensive end when Josh Allen first took that starting job. But then got Diggs, and we started talking about this offense. But the defense was really their bread and butter for their first couple of years. And now we're starting to see their defense is slowly but surely all those pieces, kind of like the Ravens. You remember the Ravens were this dominant defensive team at first, and then you started seeing key pieces, turned away. But then you saw them go in and make a trade, for Roquan Smith, and they do necessary things, drafted Kyle Hamilton. So they do necessary things to make their
Mhm.
defense great again. Can the Bills kind of follow in those footsteps? We're going to see how good your GM is, pretty much.
Yeah, without a question. And speaking of a GM,
Mm-hmm.
we have a wide receiver out here that's still out on the market, that's still unsigned. There's a few, but
Yeah.
talk about one in particular.
Mm-hmm.
OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. He's still out there. He had a productive year with the Ravens. Let
Mm-hmm.
me ask a two-part question. One, do you think the Ravens are making a mistake not bringing him back? And two, if the Ravens don't bring him back, who should be the first team to be looking to sign OBJ?
Um, I 100% believe they made a mistake in not bringing him back. Yes, you look at him and he had, a few injuries to start the year. One of those injuries, I remember watching a clip. It wasn't his fault. He just had he had anybody in a situation when he got hurt. It was a crazy situation play. But I look at the playoffs and I look at it honestly, the game that they should have beat the Chiefs, and he was the second best receiver. And you saw kind of their late game push. He was a guy had 3 catches, I think, in like one of the final drives. So Odell Beckham he may not be the same Odell as when he first got to Cleveland or New York, but he still couldn't be your second or third best receiver on your team. But when I look at the Ravens roster, outside of Zay Flower, sorry Bateman, you not turned out to what they thought you were going to be. Sorry Aguilar, I will never say you're a good receiver in the NFL ever. Um, so when I look at that, and yes, you have Mark Andrews, you have Isaiah Likely, but let's talk about the wide receiver position. All you have is A Flowers. Then after that, what do you have? So to me, when I talk to because again, my mom's side of family from Baltimore, so when I talk to them about the Ravens, they all don't understand why Odell hasn't been brought back, and they all were questioning why he wasn't used more, especially in that playoff game. Because again, you look at them final 2 drives, you look at his production. Where was Aguilar? Where was Bateman? I just asked myself that. There are guys that you talk about, you can say system, you can say this, that, and the third. When it's time to make a play, after Zay Flowers, I'm going to Odell. So I don't know why they let him go. They better bring in some wide receivers because I'm low in the box against this team. All you got is Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews not going to truly beat me deep. I'm low in the box. Come on. Go ahead, run your read option. Let's see what y'all do.
Mhm. Because you want to take away, and I wish
Hmm.
our guy Dad was here, but he's probably still on the practice court with his boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think to your point, you want to load the box and take away that run because that two-headed monster of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, if that gets rolling, then good luck. Like
Hmm.
they're just gonna keep punching you in the mouth and keep moving the ball down the field. So you're gonna have to load the box and dare Lamar Jackson to beat you, and he can't beat you to
Yeah.
your. You said it with just Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews in the scene. Like that's not enough. You need somebody that's gonna, like you said, take the top off the defense. Someone that's going to open up the those underneath routes
Hmm.
for Zay Flowers to get those crosses and use his speed and his ability in the open field. So I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me why they haven't done. The only thing, there are some other guys out there, but even those guys, my guy Gallup is out there,
Hmm.
but he's another guy coming off of an injury.
Yeah. He
You know
just,
what I mean?
yeah.
So even the guys that are out there, there's still some question marks. So
Hmm.
to me, I would rather have the guy that I've already had in the system, that's already familiar with it, that already has built some chemistry with Lamar Jackson. So
Hmm.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yes. Just don't know why they did it, man. Because one, I mean, we talked about this. I said this on the show, and if I haven't, I say it again. I'm not looking at the Ravens at all this year until the playoffs. I don't care what Lamar Jackson does. I don't care what this team does.
I understand.
And I have the same energy towards my Eagles. So for the people listen, don't think that I think my Eagles can do no wrong. I call them out when nobody else does
That's a fact.
because I'm not biased. But the fact that how they lost that game and they had no business losing that game, and I have nothing to say about it positive about what the Ravens did last year because they folded bad. So I don't care what you do in the regular season because you did it before. Let's see it in the playoffs. So I'm gonna say,
No doubt about it. I think, and the jury's still out on that.
hmm
But let's talk about teams that should be calling Odell Beckham's agent. Who should be some of the teams that should be calling?
now when I broke this down, I considered okay where he's at in his career, the teams he went to post the Cleveland Browns as far as the Rams and then the Ravens. So I looked at his teams that he wants to win with, teams that have a chance at winning. I'll say this team may not have a chance of winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if they call them up, and that's the Chicago Bears. Um, wouldn't be surprised if they call him up. You bring in Caleb Williams, you have more, you have Keenan Allen. He may be a guy that could fight for that third wide receiver position. But if you don't want to go there, you take a look at Cincinnati. If they're going to lose Higgins,
That's a
you
good
could
one.
you could take a look at Cincinnati, and then I save my last team. I'll let you throw some teams out there.
Well, I think we just talked about in Buffalo. You just
hmm
lost.
Don't
Uh,
go to Buffalo.
well, I'm
We
just
we ain't
saying
messing
you
with
lost a high quality receiver in
Oh yeah,
Stephon.
no, I'm with you on Buffalo side, but on Odell's side, we not going
Oh
to
no, no, no. I don't. And shucks, why not a reunion in New York with the Giants?
mm,
They could use an upgrade at wide receiver.
mm-hmm. You're right about that.
So those are two for sure. Who
You're
was the
right
other
about
team
that.
that you was thinking about?
Um, KC,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
KC. You
yeah.
lose MVS and you bring in Marquise Brown. You have Rasheed Rice, and man, I just that situation is I just hope stuff gets resolved on all fronts. Stuff that's going on with Rasheed Rice, but you look at that third wide receiver position. In my opinion, I think the relationship with KC on the outside looking in with KC and Tony, it looks burnt. Um, I don't know how he's still on the roster. I don't know what's going to go on moving forward. But with everything that happened towards the end of the season and him not playing in the Super Bowl, but him saying he's healthy, I don't know what's going on there. But if you let him go, you have Justin Watson, who's good. Justin Ross from Clemson never really got his shine. Sky Moore, but you got Odell. You
Mhm,
got a chance to
mhm.
bring in Odell. I'd bring Odell in. And then the other team, maybe the 49ers. Who knows what's going to happen with Ayuk?
Yeah,
Even if that, you could still bring a guy like Odell. To me, his skill set, he may not be the number one or two receiver, but on nights he can show up and he could be your number one or two receiver. And so to me, when you're a passing offense, you want as many weapons as possible. Like when I look at the Bills, and they have a conversation, I said, man, they didn't have all those weapons. This is the guy did this, he did that. But were they consistent? Were they truly a threat? Gabe Davis would have 100 yards and then zero. That man had less than 25 yards in 6, 7 straight games. Don't tell me he's a number two receiver. You know, when I look at Odell in a passing offense, you're not going to be able to contain him because he can still get open. He can still catch the ball. He can still be a positive impact for your team. So to me, if I'm any team that really needs another guy in there, he doesn't have to be a star, but a guy that can have impact. I'm bringing in Odell. Why not the Chargers with Herbert? You lost Keenan Allen, you
yeah,
lost Mike
yeah.
Williams.
That's a
You're
good one.
probably going to draft a wide receiver.
That's a good
There's
one.
so many teams. Like to me,
Yeah.
what he showed towards the end of the season, there's no way he doesn't get a job with all these receivers. With Nelson Aguilar being a
Come on,
receiver,
man.
no, I'm
Come
not.
on,
No,
man.
we're not doing that.
Yo,
We're not doing that. We know
yo,
we're
man.
not
Let him
doing that.
live,
With
man.
Jalen Rager, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. With these guys having spots on the roster, man. Nah, I'm playing, but I'm serious at the same
No,
time
I get it.
because they're NFL wide
I'm with you
receivers.
though.
But it hurts my heart that the Eagles, and I try to defend that Jalen Rager thing, and that like you try to do something, you know you're wrong, but you got to try to make it seem right. Yeah, that was me with Jalen Rager. But on a serious note, I mean, there's so many teams that could use them. Winning. Or if I'm a team that has a young quarterback, why not Bryce Young? Why not you bring it? Like it's so
Yeah,
many like
oh, that's a great one.
what
Yeah,
like
because
it's like
Carolina wide receiver core
come on now. Like I,
not
I
it.
really feel like
Yes.
unless you're a team like the Eagles, right? Unless you're a team like the Texans, or unless you're a team maybe like the Dolphins, there's not really like why not go to Pittsburgh? Like there's not a lot of teams that can say, okay, we do not need any more wide receivers. The Pittsburgh calls you Steelers calls you no wide receiver. I think the relationship with him in Cleveland, I think that soured out. But man, him going to that team now would be amazing. Him with the Colts would help. Like he could go help out in so many different places because you're not bringing in a guy to be your number one or maybe number two. You just need a guy to have an impact, a guy to be, can make a play when you need a play to be made. Now, before we end this though, let me ask you this: why not Dallas?
Because I mean, you already let Gallup go, so if anything, you would have brought him back at a lower salary
True,
before you bring in OBJ.
true.
But
Because like,
that would be a typical Jerry Jones signing because that would bring a lot of attention. So
because what they
I wouldn't
going
be surprised
they're
if it
going
happened.
they're going to rejuvenate Martavius Bryant. Because when I look at this roster again,
Man, I
no,
forgot he was even on the team.
when I no offense to any guys, when I look at this roster, wide receiver room, all I know is TD Lamb and Brandon Cooks, and for some reason, Cowboys are the only team that Brandon Cooks was not Brandon Cooks. People think he's so old because he's been on
No,
so
he
many
came
different
on in
teams.
the second half of the season. He
Yeah,
started out
no,
a
I'm
little
with you.
slow.
I'm with you. But like he's, in Houston last year because excuse me, or 2 years ago, the quarterback situation. But other than that, this dude has been a 1,000-yard wide receiver on 4 different teams. Like, we're not going to. We don't have to turn this to a Dallas thing, but come on,
Yeah,
Dallas,
man,
get
I'm
it
trying
together.
to,
I know
I'm
you.
trying
I
not
know
to
you
get
don't want to be
triggered.
emotionally involved.
Yeah,
I
I'm
understand
going to
that.
do it.
So I'm gonna leave you be.
All right, look, we're about to talk some NBA
hmm
right on the other side of this break. All right, people, listen, we have this spot, whether it's before, at the top, or mid show or post show. We have ad slots available for you to advertise your business, to promote your brand. And also, if you need help with your creative content, that's my business, along with my partner, Tobias Tanker Jr. Shout out to him, today his birthday. Um, but we can help you bring your creative ideas to life. The intro that you heard was done by myself and the team. Shout out to Tempo Ty, who laced the verse for us. So we can, add that flavor, add that sauce to your creative content. So just follow us on IG and Twitter, send us a DM, and we'll make it happen. Or you can email us at kanmmusicpub@gmail.com. All right, let's go. Let's switch gears and talk some NBA.
hmm
I was hyping this team up. I was sold on them.
We all were.
We were ready to not crown them, but we were ready to make them, put them in the playoffs, and
hmm
now it's not looking so good. So you're a young guy.
Absolutely.
Are the Rockets playing? Is it over? Are they gonna make
um,
this play?
I'll say this: they were on a 10 game winning streak. Essentially, they lost their last 2 games. The problem with that is you were already a few games behind the Rockets. I mean the Warriors. You're 1 game behind them, but the Warriors have been on a 5 game winning streak. And it's kind of going unnoticed. It feels like we kind of question: Are the Warriors out of it? Are the Warriors out of it? You lose to the Pacers, you lose to the Timberwolves. but then you pick up some big wins. You blow out the Heat. Draymond gets kicked out the game, and you're able to beat the Magic, which I thought they were going to lose. You beat the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
You beat the Spurs. You beat the Mavericks a few nights ago, who I thought they were going to lose to. So they're on a
A good
5-game winning
game.
streak, and then they're up 15 right now against the Rockets. So they win this game, the Rockets could kiss their play-in tournament hopes goodbye, and they're currently up 15 points. They're up 15 points. Klay Thompson has 5 threes. Curry has 12 points right now. Wiggins has 10 points. And this is no like really diss to the Rockets. You lose your second best player, and you just were able to hit a stride. And I think what we saw from them is kind of things we like. Ray talked about good this team could be. This is the flashes that we saw. Jabari Smith, a lot of people, talk about Chet, you talk about Paolo. Jabari Smith has been very good this year, and he's been very good in Sengun's absence. And I think he's kind of finding his role to this team. Amin Thompson, again, I talked about the overtime elite guys last episode. He's a guy that's really picked up in Sengun's absence, and you see what he can. Like, I don't want to go, on the tangent, but man, the upside for him, and I don't want to talk about the Pistons, so we'll stick with the Rockets. The upside for him is honestly the sky is. When I say the sky is the limit, and you rarely say that about players, but he has every tool in the defensive end. Him and his brother, and they can rebound. And on the offensive side, they're not scared to go out their comfort zone and shoot a jump shot or do a floater. They're guys that are able to take on the challenge. Dylan Brooks, to me, he done it. He did everything he was supposed to. And Fran VanVleet, he kind of was the guy I expected him to be. You have Cam Whitmore, who might have been an unsung hero in this draft off the bench. Jeff Green has been Jeff Green, even though this dude's old, people gonna say he's been hooping this year.
Game.
No, he's really been hooping this year. Like honestly, quietly because he's on a team that is kind of at the bottom of their Western Conference, but he's been hooping. With all that being said, though, their playing hopes are over if they don't win this game. And again, they're down 15 and a half. The NBA, you're not out of it till you're down 30 with 4 minutes left because we didn't see it all happen.
That's facts.
But if they lose this game, they're going to be 4 games behind. Then I think you lose the tiebreaker. It's over with if they lose. So all the energy they want to have in the second half needs to come out. Their top guy is really not in foul trouble. He just 5 for 21 from the 3-point line, and then the Warriors are 11 for 21. So you kind of see the difference there.
Yeah. And what happens is,
and they're getting destroyed on the glass too. I'll say that. Draymond has 4 offensive rebounds. Draymond has 6 total rebounds. They have 23 rebounds, and the Rockets have 11. Like, it's certain things you're going to lose in today's game. You lose the rebounding battle. I think the 3-point battle and the field goal percentage. If it's a huge discrepancy, you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, and I said this before. I haven't coached a young team. Just don't know when a young team is going to play young. And we see now that the getting real and the pressure is mounting, and these games are starting to count. That we're seeing that the lack of maturity and the maturity of on the opposite side, Golden State Warriors, who've already been through these wars, been through these playoff battles. They know how to. You can see essentially that they are basically hit their 5th year, and now they're in playoff mode. And we see. I think the turning point was that Orlando game when they were able to win that game without Draymond.
Yeah.
I think it just gave them a shot in the arm and just let them know, like, it doesn't matter who's here and who's not. We got enough here to be able to get it done. So Draymond also, I think it was a lesson to him that, you got to stay mentally engaged because this team is going to roll with or without you. So I just think it was actually, a blessing in disguise for them. And we're seeing how it's really have pushed them to be able to make this run. And while they're surging, they're going upward on an upward trajectory. And the Houston Rockets are now going on a downward trajectory. And I think they're just running out of gas.
Yeah, and it's just we're gonna give them the credit for that run they went on. It was amazing, and they had a chance, but like you said, they ran out of gas. I think the absence of Sengun is showing, his impact that he had on his team. So it just, man, it sucks because it was fun and it gave us a reason kind of look at a certain team towards the end of the year, but that reason's kind of fading away now. Sorry, but
Yeah,
it's just we just got to be brutally honest, man.
yeah, no, this is real talk. That's what we do. We got to get that real talk. You know what I mean? So, but even if you're a Houston Rockets fan, you still got to be encouraged because nobody even expected them to have a winning record. They
Nope.
thought this was going to be another lottery season where they were going to be a 25, 30 win team. And the fact that they're flirting with 500 is a step in the right direction. So they could build
Honestly.
on this.
And if I'm not mistaken, what's their record right now? Let me see something here. Let me
38 and 37. They're one game over
they're
500 right
they're 38 and 37. And if my
now.
Wi-Fi, wants to act normal,
Hmm
38 and 37, they be locked in for the playing teams, playing tournament in the East. They be the ninth seed. So, it's just, you're in a tough Western Conference, which
Yeah,
is always a
all
tough
places.
conference. So it's just, man, feel bad. Well, let me not say feel bad because I won this bet with Ray, and we're gonna roll back that footage because yeah, I won that bet with Ray. I'll just keep it at that.
Hey, listen, I got some footage that I'm saving too that I'm gonna cut up the next time we have anytime that Magic and Steph debate ever comes. I got the
Got
receipt.
something for him.
Oh,
Mm,
do I? But anyway, speaking of disappointment, I got the jersey on for my
mhm.
guy. I'm gonna go on this one. Like as a Knicks fan, like this is why, right? This is why, Chris. Remember, I said I'm trying not to get too excited. This
Yeah,
is
because you
exactly
saw how I came on the show. I was pumped.
yeah. This is why I didn't want to get too excited because this injury and OG being iffy
Hmm
basically just torpedoes our chance to make a playoff run.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's another frustrating end to a season as a Knicks fan. And everything, what really makes it so frustrating is that everything was pointing in that direction that we could make a run. Like
hmm
that trade, he came in and fit in seamlessly. The team went to another level when he got there. And it was just like, yo, everything is lining up for us to really be able to make something happen in the East. And then we get this news today. So it's a tough day, but I got to give one thing we know that, with Tibbs, it does not matter who's on the
hmm
court. They're going to play hard and they're going to compete. And they're competing right now. They're playing right now against the Sacramento Kings. And this is a close game going into the fourth quarter. So this is just, again, a testament to who Coach Thibodeau is that he doesn't let his team settle. He doesn't let his team hang his head or,
hmm
slump their shoulders. They're going to go out there. They're going to defend. They're going to play with effort. They're going to, fight and they're going to battle. So
Yeah,
it's got to be next man up. But
it has to be.
having said that, what do you think? What does this speak to in terms of our chances in the playoffs?
I mean, when this trade happened, I was one of the guys. I mean, I said it on the show. I said it, a lot of times to a lot of people, and I said it on my platform. The Knicks are the second best team in the East. I thought when fully healthy, I would take them over the Milwaukee Bucks. Honestly, with Randall, with Ogiano Anunoby, with the plethora of big men that you had from Artenstein to Mitchell Robinson to Precious Achua to guys like Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo taking their game to the next step. We're seeing Miles McBride being that guy that could be a 3-and-D guy. You know what Jalen Brunson is. Then you bring in Bogdanovich, who was an 18 to 22 point guy per game, and he's barely even making a lineup. And Alec Burks, where you seems like it feels like every year somehow, some way, Alec Burks is on the Thibodeau team playing playoff minutes. So when I looked at this, when I
He
looked at
loves
this
that guy.
team,
That's a fact.
when I looked at this team, I'm just like, man, this team really like they really can compete against Boston, and injuries really derailed that, and it sucks. Um, so I say this: if OG Anunoby can come back, y'all can make the second round. But
Yeah,
without
but
OG,
that's
but without OG Anunoby, I'm gonna be honest. Like y'all beat the Magic this year, but a 7-game series, I don't know if I can take this team over the Magic. I don't. I don't see y'all
fair.
falling out. I mean, I'll say this: you're hopefully y'all on a 3-game losing streak. So if you lose this game, that's going to be bad. because you don't want to fall into the playing tournament. And the Pacers are only 2 games behind. And I know we only have about 6, 7 games left, but a lot can happen in 6 or 7 games. And if Miami, are able to beat my Sixers, which I hope they don't, then they're a game behind y'all. So I think with all these injuries, it's going to be tough. If and like y'all in a lose because there's really nobody where y'all could be in the first round. Y'all go against somebody and say, okay, yeah, it's the easy one. Magic is not the easy one. Cleveland, even though I lost all my hope with them, they're not an easy one. Regardless, talent is going to play well in the playoffs. I don't want to say your season's over because obviously you're making the playoffs, but I'm with you. No, there's no chance in the playoff run. It doesn't matter how great Brunson plays. Um, your only hope is OG Anunoby comes back and he can be a second option because that's essentially what he wanted to be leaving Toronto. He wanted to be more than kind of a 3-and-D, and he was stuck behind Siakam and he was stuck behind Scotty Barnes. So if he maybe helps y'all on the offensive end a little bit more, y'all might have a chance. But I just don't. My hopes of y'all really competing against Boston are gone. And let me ask you this: as a New York Knicks guy, I don't want to say there's been reports, but because everybody say, "Oh, there's been reports," but you kind of see George Randall's body language sometimes when he's up and he's down, and you see New York Knicks fans are really rallying behind Jalen Brunson, and we saw the flag they kind of give Julius Randle. Do you think this team should move on from Julius Randle?
No, I was actually having the same conversation in a sports chat with some guys that do fantasy sports with, and that's I said no because I think that the trade, like I said earlier, they have found their stride, and OG was like basically balanced the team because we were a little too lefty heavy, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
lefty, so um,
Oh, you don't have to
I'm
tell me twice. I did not like your team at all.
yeah, we were little. We had too many lefties, so the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we were able to get OG, and I think the other part was that if Randall is struggling, OG could play the 3 and the 4, so that gave us some versatility. Precious Achua came in and was really playing well, so I just thought that everything was in place for us to do, to really have a good playoff run, and so I don't want to break it up. I don't think you trade. I think
Mm-hmm.
you go into the offseason, let Randall get healthy. They develop more chemistry
Mm-hmm.
because OG came at the halfway part of the season. So you give them a full
Yeah.
off season and time to get in the gym and really fill up and really, get that feel for each other and how to play
Mm-hmm.
with each other. And I just think we're going to be even better uh, next year. So I wouldn't trade him
Okay.
but I will say, I will say, and this is my last statement on it,
Mm-hmm.
that I do think we do. If we made a deal, it needs to be for a certified bucket getter. So, like somebody at the 2 position, whether it's a Donovan Mitchell or somebody of that
Mm-hmm.
ilk, like we need a certified bucket. Like I love Josh Hart, great role
Yeah.
player, does his job, utility guy, jack of all trades. But we need that guy, and even DiVincenzo's has been a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's better coming off the bench as a scoring punch off the bench. And I just think we need that knockdown, not really necessarily knockdown, but just a certified bucket at the 2 position. Because to me, Julius Randle is best when he's the third option.
And this is my take on that. When I look at, I can't do it at the 2 unless my 2 guards Paul George. I can't bring nobody. I
I
can't
don't
bring
think Paul
another.
George is
No,
good for the New York.
not. Let me say, when I say like Paul George, I mean his height. I
I
don't want
got you.
nobody under. I
Got it,
don't want
got it, got
nobody
it,
under
got it, got it.
6'7"
No, I feel you on
at
that.
my 2 guard if I'm
Yes,
going to really
yes.
make that move.
I feel you for sure on that.
Because I'm gonna watch some more with the Knicks as far as on the defensive side of Dante DiVincenzo. But I know what he's doing on the offensive side, and we saw flashes with the Warriors. I know they're upset that they let him go.
And even
Um,
Milwaukee, he had moments
exactly, but on the offensive side, I mean, he's always been a guy that can knock down the 3. And now I think
for
he really
sure.
found his rhythm with this team. Josh Hart has always been a guy. He may not be looked at as a scorer, but I think he can always put the ball in the basket. I'm not saying he's an elite scorer, but what he's doing, I'm not surprised at it at all. If I'm making a move for Randall, I'm bringing in another guy at that 3-4 position. I'm not bringing in another guard because I don't want. I want Jalen Brunson to have he be the only guard that with the ball in his hand. When I look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't like the pairing of Mitchell and and Garland. And
Two on the side.
if you look at how they played this year, they've all like yes they're a top seed. All their wins has came when one of them was absent. So Mitchell went on a run when Garland was out, and he was winning all these games. When Mitchell was out, Garland went on a run, and they were winning all these games. But together, they've been a sub 500 team. It feels like when every time I watch them, or every time I'm looking at them, and they're losing blowout games. Like the Nuggets and the Suns back to back. So I don't want to have two offensive guards in my backcourt, especially when they're 6'1" and 6'2".
No,
It's
I
it,
get
it,
that.
it it's not going to work. And I think Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, they'll put the ball in the basket, but I just don't like that pairing. And it sucks because it'd be fun to watch. I know New York will love it, but I think at Randall's size and him being I think Randall is a capable number two. Honestly, that's why I said that's why I like this team so much because OG Anunoby, he's more than a 3-and-D guy. So it's times where he can be able to, like I talked about it. Okay, if I'm looking at Randall, maybe I can't get my rhythm early. Randall might be my first substitution, and
Right.
I may give him going more at that second unit,
Right.
and him really running that second unit. And so when it comes to fourth quarter, he has his rhythm. So I like the pairing of what they did at the deadline. Even with Bogdanovich, he's a guy that can score.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I bring in another guard, but with that being said, you can't pass up. You can't pass up on certain guys. But Donovan Mitchell, I think now that you see what Brunson is, I don't know if I bring in another two guard unless he has to be 6'6" or 6'7" or
But
taller, and he has to play on defensive end. He
okay,
has to.
he does. In order to play for Tibbs, you got to play defense. So I'm with you there. But okay, this is this just popped into my head, so I'm just
Hmm.
gonna throw it out there.
Don't say Embiid.
No.
Okay, just make sure.
So if Devin Booker was made available by the Phoenix Suns, you're telling me you wouldn't make that trade?
Oh no, you make that trade.
Okay.
You make that trade. We not even. Let's not. We not even going to do that. But again, that Devin Booker 6'6". That
Like if that was
Devin's 6'6".
yeah,
So I could do that.
if that's gonna cost me Julius Randle, I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
Because you got two max guys. So, maybe maybe a draft pick or something like that that would have to make it work. But if we could get somebody like that, I would be okay with moving Randall and deal with involving D Book. But that's
Yeah.
just me,
I mean, yeah. I
me
mean,
dreaming.
well, but the Suns not getting rid of D Book. But I'm with you
Right. Me dreaming.
as far as I would do that. But again, like I said, Booker is 6'6". You do that. But man, that Suns. I know they're not a topic for what kind of, but the Suns, man, they've been clicking. But I'm sorry about your Knicks, man, because I was really rooting for them in the playoffs, and I said it on this show. I said it more than you on how much I thought this team could be good in their run. I really thought they were the best team to compete against Boston, I might have picked them against Boston if they actually made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on how they played. I'm serious on that. This is not a troll.
Yeah.
That roster, like bro, that roster is so good. People don't understand. Like you literally at that deadline, you all traded
Oh
away
no,
guys.
you
You're
gotta
traded. You traded away guys that were
upgrade
not
the
even
roster all the
playing.
way around.
You
Yes,
trade and you added in 30 points off the bench that you can utilize whenever you
no
need to,
question
and you
about it.
still had you didn't mess up your rotation, and you adding guys that I don't know why you traded for them because they don't even play, but you really added guys that have immense value. So
100%.
this team unhealthy, man, I really thought they were so scary. It was going to be a good luck situation.
Yeah, so I had said so. When I was doing my audio podcast,
Hmm.
I did a NBA preview episode a couple when Leon Rose and World Wide West first got the job. I did a pod with my uncle and my brother Phil, and I said, "Man, if they can't get it right, then the Knicks are just cursed." And they were laughing at it.
Yeah.
But I got to give it to them. They have, and it took some time,
Hmm.
but I think that we can clearly see that there's a plan in place and that we got the right people in the front office now.
Hmm.
to be able to contend for years to come. But here's what I will say, and we'll move on after this, is that if the Knicks and the Boston Celtics meet and somehow are able to meet in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs,
It's possible. Where
it's
y'all
gonna
stand,
be
it's possible.
it's gonna be a zoo because those storylines, for KP coming back to New York,
Hmm.
the New York versus Boston rivalry, like that'll be must see TV, and
Absolutely.
the energy will be out of this world. So that's
Hmm.
definitely something I would like to see. And selfishly, I would like to see us get Orlando in the first round because I'm only a couple hours away from Orlando, so I would definitely try to catch one of those games. So
Hmm.
hopefully it all falls into place there. But since we're talking about the playoffs, we got to talk and go back to the Western Conference. James Harden has gone off the reservation again. We see him struggling now, and he hasn't been playing up to the James Harden level that when they went on that run, he hasn't been that guy.
Hmm.
Are you concerned? And can the Clippers win in the playoff with this version of James Harden?
I mean, man, the footage is out. I could predict this team to make it the finals before this trade. And when they made this trade, we kind of talked about how it's give them some time to get it going. And they got to go, and they were rolling. I mean, they were one of the best teams in the league, and they fell off since then, 5-5 in their last game. And when you talk about James Harden, you look at his game log as of recently. I can't remember a time where his recent game log is 6 points, 6 points, 11 points, 16 points, 11 points, 11 points, 12, 15, okay, 19. Then you go to
Good.
9, 12. I mean, like, he had, a 28-point night and a 29-point night. And that's essentially because you had Kawhi and Paul George out. You take those 2 nights out, he may be averaging less than 14 points this in the month of March, you know? And the issue really isn't as much as his low scoring output, but it's the fact that he's only attempted 11 and a half shots last month. You're just only putting up 11 shots a game. What are we doing here?
Mhm.
And then you're going to be, this 3-point shooter. What if your 3-pointer's not falling? And you shoot last month 32% from the 3-point line. You're not getting to the free throw line anymore. You used to get there 12 times a game. You're barely getting there 4 now. They're going to struggle. Um, because I don't think Harden has to take that many shots, but he has to get to his spots. And there's times where you watch this team and you watch him run the pick and roll, and he has the wide open floater, but he forces a pass to a Zubac, or he forces a pass to whoever big is in, or he try to force a pass to the corner. Take your wide open shots. Paul George is not passing up his wide open shots. Kawhi Leonard's not passing open his
Know
wide open
that.
shots. Russell Westbrook still sometimes really don't pass open his wide open shots. James Harden, the way he changed his game, I don't know what's going on, but it's like I don't know if he can revert back. When he left Houston, he went to Brooklyn. He said, "Yes, I'm going to buy into my role." He bought in. It feels like a little bit too much. Like, yes, we know you're a great passer and you one of the best passers of this generation, but you also when you were getting 12 assists, you were getting 40 something points. We don't need you to get 40 something points, but we can't win with you getting 9 points a game. That's just not going to happen. I don't care if you're getting 9 assists, 7 assists. You need to give us at least 15, you know? And we're kind of seeing the same thing over there with Phoenix and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is having games of 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Can't happen. And when James Harden's been playing all year, and it's been like this all year, you're talking about a team that really doesn't, all their bench is really Norman Powell. So you need scoring wherever you can get it. And so, from a guy that used to lead the league in scoring, if he's giving you 6 points, 6 points, 11 points, they're not going to go far in the West. So they're lucky right now. I look at the standings, and they're going against the Pelicans. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Scratch that. Remember I told you how the Pelicans could fall off? Yeah, the Pelicans are in the playing right now. The Pelicans are in the playing. Phoenix has now moved up to the 6th seed. So now the Clippers have the Mavericks in the first round. Go ahead, wrap it up. That's a first round exit. The way they're playing right now, just go ahead, wrap that up. Go ahead, wrap that up. That's a first round exit. Whew. The way they the way they've been playing right now, I know they beat them twice, but they beat them in 7 games and Luka was by himself giving y'all work. Work. Y'all cannot stop Luka. Cannot stop him. And now you add Kyrie, and then you give me PJ, and then you give me Gafford. So if you want to go small, we go small. If you want to play big, I got a big man now. Work.
Yeah,
That's work.
yeah.
That's food. That's food for Dallas. That's food. They're not playing around. Dallas has moved up from the 8th seed all the way to the 5th seed, and they're going to be the 4th seed. Depending on how this game go tonight against the Nuggets, it's going to be work for Dallas. So James Harden is no Kawhi Leonard tonight. You're going against the Nuggets. No Jamal Murray tonight. Nobody, as much as the Nuggets, how good they are, they don't have no dominant one-on-one defender. Their best defender is Aaron Gordon, and he goes against big, tall forwards like a Kawhi, like a LeBron, like a KD. Caldwell Pope cannot stay in front of you, James Harden. You should have 20 to 25 points tonight, easily. So if I don't see an aggressive James Harden tonight, I'm very concerned with this team in the playoffs.
Well, you should be, because this is the challenge of having James Harden on your team, is that you just don't know when he's going to check out mentally. And you saw it. You saw it with your Sixers, where he just takes his foot off the gas and just just goes through the motions, and he's just not mentally engaged. He's not aggressive.
He's not doing nothing.
Yeah, he's just out there floating, and you can't have that, especially now. Like, this is the time where you got to start fine tuning things. This is the time where you got to, we talked about Golden State, how they amped up their play and that they raised their level of play. Like, this is what you expect. And I know Ty Lue, he don't play. So we know he gonna keep it real.
I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting, Paul George. They asked Paul George about his name. He said, "I'm not the coach." Next comment. So I'm like wondering, okay, y'all kind of getting like, y'all think about what we think about what's up with Harden again tonight. I'm not. Well, I'm going to give you all a parlay towards the end. As the game's about to come on, but his over under is at 16.5. That like 16.5. That's very low for James Harden, first of all. And the fact that it's only 16.5 and he's looked at to be the second option tonight should tell you that nobody really expects him to have a scoring outburst.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what you get when, as great as James Harden is, as talented as he is, first ballot Hall of Famer without question, but this is the other side.
Mm-hmm.
This is, the other side of the coin that you have to deal with when you have James Harden. So before we get out of here, we got one more topic. And this is an interesting one because I was thinking about it as you put it in our chat, is who's going to be the snubs for the All-NBA team? Who are you anticipating getting snubbed on the All-NBA team?
We talked about Kawhi Leonard a few episodes ago. He's definitely one I believe that's going to get snubbed. Do you got a name? Because I got to pull up this list real quick. So if you got a name real quick to throw a name out, let me pull it. I thought I had it up. There's a few though, I think.
I'm gonna stay local. I think Paolo might get snubbed.
Okay.
I think that may be one where they think he's a year away from being All NBA. But I think he's played at that level. We talked about his numbers. His numbers are on par to be able to make those All NBA teams. So I think, being a young guy, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to get snubbed.
Okay, so let me read to you this list. This is the NBA.com. This is somebody's. Let me read to you. It says writers reveals their pick for the first and second team, third team, and I don't agree with this list to a certain extent, but let's read it out. So first team, you have Giannis, Luka, SGA, Jokic, and Tatum. I can agree with that. I think that may be unanimous. Second team, actually, okay, I'll disagree with it. Oh no, second team, Brunson, AD, Edwards, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard. Third team, Curry, KD, Tyrese Halliburton, Sabonis, and Zion. I don't agree with the second team at all. There's no way in the world Kevin Durant is third team All NBA. He's had a by far better season than Kawhi Leonard. Top
Oh
three or
yeah,
top
yeah.
five or top six, I think, is points per game. He's been a better defender than Kawhi Leonard, a better rebounder than Kawhi Leonard. He's done everything better than Kawhi Leonard as far as individual season. Let's not forget Kevin Durant was putting up 30 points plus 6 assists plus 8 rebounds plus when Bradley Beal and Devin Booker were banged up the first 2 months of the year. Let's not forget about that. Um, so I see Kawhi Leonard's on this list. Again, you talk about Paolo. I think those two to me are fighting for third team, but there's no way Kevin Durant's third team All NBA. I'm sorry. That's why I kind of have that reaction looking at the first team because you can make a case he's first team All NBA over Tatum. You can make that strong case. So we're talking about individual. All NBA is this is time for individual. What you did as an individual because SGA made it last year first team and it was about to play in. So you can make a case that Kevin Durant individual season was just as good as not better than Jason Tatum. But the fact that Kawhi Leonard's above him, I don't agree with that. I also
Yeah.
don't agree with Tyrese Halliburton being third team All NBA.
Do you think his injury is what
No,
caused
I
him to
don't
slip
think
down?
he should be any All NBA. I don't think he should be All NBA at all. I think he's a snub.
Are you putting De'Aaron Fox
I
over
think
him?
let me look. I'm putting my boy over him. And let me see how many games he played. If he played,
Oh,
because you
Maxi?
know you got a
Yeah.
65 game
Huh?
rule. Yes, I'm putting Max. I'm putting Maxi.
And
How
what
many
are the
games Maxi
numbers?
play this year? All right,
I don't think
Max. Oh
he's
yeah,
missed that
Maxi's at
many,
the
so I'm
65
sure he's
game.
qualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maxi made it. Maxi is 12th. He's averaging 26 basically in 6. Tyrese Halliburton. Let's pull this out while we here. Come on,
Because
Wi-Fi,
he's
don't
20,
fail me
close
now.
to 20 and 10, if I remember right.
Yeah, see. You remember you think about the old Tyrese Halliburton. Let's think about. All right, I'll read to you his number. You know, he averaging 20 and 11, number one in assists, right? That's fine. Absolutely. Right. Where he at? He started the year off amazing. But that December run he had, no, that November run he had, that 28 points, that after that injury, he's not been the same person at all. He went from averaging 28 points, really, his averages was close to 23, 24, down to 16 points the past 2 months. Shooting the ball 27% from the
Hmm.
3-point line last month.
Wow.
27%
That's
from the
not good.
3-point line last month.
Not good.
Not good at all. Putting up 0 points, 12 points, 14 points, 14 points. He was never a true scorer, but let me not say that. He had flashes where he could score, but he hasn't been the same person really post All-Star break and honestly after that injury. So what I think to what I believe in Tyrese
Hmm.
Maxey being consistent all year, especially with Embiid being out. I mean, we were a playing team and he kept us afloat. And I look at what he put
Nah,
up tonight.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I look at what he put up tonight. He almost had a triple double. Y'all lucky he didn't drop a trip dub on y'all. 35 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. And we just beat the Miami Heat, a very important win for us if we don't want to meet, if we want to sneak into the top 6. So I think with the breakout kind of year-ish he had and how consistent he been all year, to me, he's a guy that should be over Tyrese Halliburton. I would put De'Aaron Fox. I would consider that over Halliburton because the fact that Halliburton, you were a different player for the second half of the year, that has to be taken into consideration. Because if that's the case, if we're going for, they're lucky this is 65 game rule. Because if it wasn't a 65 game rule, Joel Embiid would be first team All NBA, second team All NBA.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
how you're going to vote in
He
Tyrese
was
Halliburton
dominating before he got hurt. No,
for
you're right.
exactly. So but Zion making it, I'm surprised. But I'm not surprised, but not shocked. Sabonis definitely deserves to
Yeah.
be in there. My only issue, I'll say
No,
this.
Zion has played at a high level and has stayed healthy.
Yeah,
So
but a guy
you
like
can make
Paolo,
the
like you
case.
said, Paolo might be the guy that's snubbed. But
And I
I'm
think
with
he's
you.
been more consistent than Zion. So I'm with you
Yeah, I'll give you that. I give you that. But I think first team, I think I think that's a lot. I kind of like the first team. I don't think that's getting changed. Second team, all I would really do, honestly, is whoa, hold on, stop the phone. Sorry, people. We looking at this live now. It's live reactions. Oh, this got to change. Devin Booker's not on here. But why? How did I think of that? How did I not think about the fact that Devin Booker is not on here? Let me look at his numbers. Let me look how many games he played. We hold on. Let's stop the phone. First of all, he's averaging 27 and 7. So we
That's big time.
now does he have the all he has to do is play 3 more games? He's playing 3 more games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If he
But
plays
I
those
think they may have made the list based off of the fact that he hadn't qualified yet. So that's the
yeah.
only thing I can think of.
Well if he plays these 3 more games, let me see something real quick. Dang, are they going guard for a big man? He might get snubbed. He might. All right, no, but if they do, then I'm sorry, Tyrese Maxey. I'm putting Booker over you anyway. Sorry. So if we're doing that, you could take Tyrese Halliburton and
Wow.
Maxey out. Absolutely 27 points and 7 assists.
No, that's big time.
So I'm putting I'm sorry Tyrese and I'm sorry Maxey. Devin Booker is probably going to be all NBA. If we weren't going off position, if I could go, kind of unlimited as a sense, I would take Zion out of third team, and then I would put Devin Booker in there, and I truly believe Kevin Durant second team, so Kawhi Leonard slide into third team, but Devin Booker has to be all NBA.
Yeah, and you know that's going to happen every year. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
remember back in the day, with Unk, he led the league in assists.
Mm-hmm. Multiple times, I think. Well, I know he. I
Well,
know. I
I
think I
know
know what
one
year.
year for
Yeah, I know.
sure
Yeah,
he led the league in assists and didn't make the All Star team. So
which is crazy.
it's going to happen. Like
So,
it's
but
going to
that's why I don't like
always.
All Star, man. That's why I kind of like All NBA to a sense a little more better than All
Yeah,
Star,
I mean, and it's still you only got 15 slots, so
which is tough.
we know it's a top 25 for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
you can, and it's all opinion based, and then it's also media based because it all depends on the relationships that you have with the media. And which leads me to
Absolutely.
a topic that we got to talk about, Chauncey Billups.
Mm-hmm.
We'll save that for next week, but I got some thoughts on that as to why he's a Hall of Famer, which speaks to the media
Wait,
relationship
say
thing.
the name again. Say the name again. Go
Oh,
out.
Chauncey Billups.
Mhm.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. We gotta talk
Shout
about
out to
that.
Chauncey though. But
No, congratulations to him. But my point is that it's your relationships with the media can make or break you.
oh, forget Ken. It does make or break you.
Right. You know,
And
and,
we don't have to. But I just say a name, and we could just leave it at that. Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens.
number 3 all time in
Yeah,
wide receivers, and then
he's
they
top
took a,
five. Come on now,
he
he's
was
top
number
five in
3 when he
almost every
retired in
stat.
touchdowns.
Oh no,
And,
I know. I was saying there's no way you could name a wide receiver
right,
list. He's not
right.
top five, top
But
six.
because of
Then
his
you look at his numbers. Oh, he has better numbers than all your favorite wide receivers. Come on now,
another
stop it,
guy like
stop it,
Stephon Marbury, he's another
stop
guy
it.
that with his numbers warrant
Come
that
on,
he should
he
be
basically averages
consideration
20.
for the Hall
He
of
averaged
Fame.
20 and 9 in his league basically
That's what I'm saying.
with
So it's
multiple
just where
teams.
these your relationships with the media can make or break you.
And
So
then it's
we
like,
can go on the list. The
and it's a
list goes on.
basketball Hall of Fame, not an NBA. So tell me why Steph's not in there.
Hey man, that's how it
Hey man,
goes.
say man.
That's it. But look, man, we about to wrap it up. My Knicks look like we're gonna pull this one out. We're
Mm-hmm.
up 12 with about 3 minutes to go. Before we go though,
Oh yeah, let
give the
me go.
people your
Let me give him some
parlays.
parlays. All right. Before we go, let me give y'all this parlay. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram as well, or not Instagram, my Twitter. But let me pull it up for y'all. It's a 6-legger. Jokic 12 rebounds. Jokic 25 points. Paul George 25 points. James Harden 15, and then we're gonna take Norman Powell 15 from my
Oh, you
straight
still
bet.
right. You
From
still
my,
rolling with Harden, huh?
I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, if he doesn't have 15 with no with no Kawhi Leonard, then there's an issue. There's truly an issue if he doesn't have 15. And then I also, if you're a straight betting people, I mean, you got to just roll with it. There's no way Harden can't get you 20 points tonight. You got almost 20 shots available. So look at Harder for 20. You know, look at Norman Powell for 20. If you want to be a guy like me, look at Terrence Mann for 15 points. Could happen. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna post all those on my Twitter, sportsw_Chris. I'm gonna post 3 plays for y'all. But that was the main parlay. Hopefully y'all see green. Hopefully James Harden doesn't ruin your ticket. But before we get out here, just some news that I'm mad I forgot to bring up earlier. Haley Van Leaf is going to go enter the transfer portal. Um, I never thought she was a good fit for this team as far as what she does well versus what this team needs to happen well and where they were going, the trajectory of a Floje and some other players on this team. I don't think Haley was kind of the right piece. Then they try to build this team's going to be nice. Like, people going to transfer portal, they bring all these stars together. It just obviously didn't work out. So it sucks. Hopefully she can go somewhere and kind of revitalize her college career and maybe upgrade her draft stock to a sense so she could be a player that's a guard getting drafted. She had a rough year, going from where she was at Louisville to where she kind of ended up at LSU was a big difference in every single category. And she did not have a good outing in the tournament, which a lot me myself included. I said maybe she could show her worth in the tournament and never really got her chance. They're asking her to guard the team's best player, and she's the shortest girl
I
out
think
there.
that's the biggest reason.
So that's like the head coach did her no favors and you did your team no favors. Why are you asking her at her size to guard Caitlin Clark, the guard from Middle Tennessee? Why is not Floje Johnson taking the opportunity? She could be young, but to me she has the better build of a defender. So we don't have to. I don't have to go on the LSU tangent, but she's entering the transfer portal. Excited to see where she goes. Go to USC. Go to
Ooh, you
USC
put her with Juju?
with Juju. Go USC. Go ahead,
That
win
would
you
be
a
mean.
national championship next year.
That would be mean. Well, I think the fit was they thought that she was the shooter. She was gonna be the shooter that they were missing.
Yeah, but they didn't even ask. They didn't even give her opportunity to shoot. Like it just
Right.
you asked her to be something
Right.
you didn't give her
Right.
opportunity to.
Yeah.
So it's you know
And that
shout out to
means
my I
is
say the shout out to my Sixers and your Knicks for getting the win. we say that we can say that
no
we can
doubt
say
about
that.
it. Yeah, so she'll land on her feet. The
Hmm.
portal is what it
Yeah,
is.
Bronny
So
Bronny in the portal too.
yeah, I saw a picture of him in the Ohio State uniform. That
Don't go
is that
there.
that's not official.
Well, I don't think it's official. If I'm that camp, where you want Bronny to go is somewhere that produces pros. Go to a school that produces pros.
So what are you
Arizona
saying?
produces pros.
Okay.
That's just a school, but I'm talking about like team. Even a team like Arizona may not be the hot team, but you see pro guards coming out of there, consistently. USC, I mean, I don't know. There's no way in the world they should have been as bad as what they were. Terrible coaching all around. So I honestly, I would even I would look at him going to Duke. I would look at him going to Carolina
Well,
because
I mean,
I think Duke or Carolina, one of those schools really didn't recruit guards. I can't remember which one it was. They really didn't bring in a lot of guards. If DJ Wagner stays, I would look at him going to Kentucky and him being a backcourt mate with DJ Wagner because y'all not going
yeah,
to take shots away from each other because y'all not, y'all can play both ends of the floor. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm Bronny, I'm looking to go to a school that produces pro, but I'm not going no mid major. You're not
Oh
a
no,
mid.
no, no. He's
You're
definitely not doing that.
he's more than a mid major talent.
Yeah, if he
He just
does that, then he's gonna go to Duquesne where
yeah with the
DeBronson Wake
old coach.
got the head coaching job. So, but
Mhm.
that's not happening. He and I wouldn't rule out him returning back to just because he's in the portal doesn't mean he's not going to return to USC.
Oh, don't
They just
return.
hired
Don't do it. I mean,
well, they
unless
just hired Musselman, who is has pro pedigree. He coached
well,
in the
we're
league, and
gonna
also
see.
his dad was an NBA coach, so
Mhm.
he does have some pro pedigree. So I wouldn't totally rule that out because the James family has
Yeah.
put down roots in LA,
Mhm.
so I wouldn't totally rule that out. But
You're
I
right.
think it's important that he definitely goes somewhere that's going to
Is
prepare him.
Boogie coming? Well, I'll say this: the coaches go have to show a lot because I don't. I know Collier is probably going to come out this year. Boogie Ellis, I feel like he's gonna.
Dillingham,
It's
Dillingham's
no,
side
no,
guard
no.
is
As
coming
far as
out.
far as I'm talking about, the guards from USC,
Oh,
the
oh, oh,
guards from
gotcha,
USC.
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
think they
Yes.
all coming out. I feel like Boogie Ellis
No, I
been to
thought you were
college
talking
for a
about
little minute.
Boogie Flan because I think
Yeah, no,
Boogie
no.
Flan committed to
Boogie
UK.
Boogie Ellis, he should be
Gotcha.
coming out. Collier, I think he's gonna be a top 20 pick. He showed a lot of talent. So if they recruit right and they, Bronny, I don't want to say give him the keys, but let him do what he can do, then I would stay. But as of now, I mean, you got to go somewhere that's going to let you be the talent you are, not have you play 15 minutes when you're better than a 15-minute person.
Yeah,
Because
no, that's fair. That is fair. I think that he's gonna for sure. And one thing we know about LeBron is that he's calculating.
mm-hmm,
He always, makes measured decisions, and he's gonna. And but he did. I give him credit though. He did say that Bronny is his own man, so it looks like
yeah,
he's giving him some independence and be able to make this decision. So, I just wish him well, man.
same,
It's not easy. Like you have you are his namesake, so you're
mm-hmm,
gonna automatically just have a ton of pressure on you. And when you play this game and you have a famous family member, I know, like there's a target on your
yeah,
back.
absolutely,
So it just is what it is, and he's handled it very well. He's been, uh, hasn't had any scandals or anything like that. He hasn't been
mm-hmm,
entitled and spoiled, and he just worked hard. So I just want to see him be successful. So he'll land on
same.
his feet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's there- one thing about LeBron, LeBron, he always makes the right decision. It might not look like the right decision, but when it's time and you look back and sit back, he makes the right decision. So whether he
Right?
stays, whether he goes to Duquesne, whether he transfers out, I think wherever he goes, I'm standing on wherever he goes is going to be somewhere that is going to propel him to the next level because Bronny, he may not, he didn't, you look at his game, you look at his numbers, but if you look at how he's only playing 15 minutes and you watch how USC played basketball, wasn't a great fit. He's a guy that can shoot the ball. He can shoot better than LeBron.
And
But maybe not LeBron now going 8 for 9 for threes, but he's a guy that can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball, and he has a knack on defense
yes, very
that's
good
next
defender.
level. So
Yes.
he's literally he to me his pro comp is Drew Holiday, and we see how they got Drew Holiday. They want him on a freaking USA team over guys that give you 26, 27 points. So you see
Yeah.
that. So I
Yeah.
just hope he goes somewhere where he can play. He can make it to the pros, and people could leave him alone.
Yeah. And I'm sure he will. All right. So give the people any of your last thoughts, anything you want to say before we get out of here.
Um. Well, looks like the Rockets are down 16, 8 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and consider this game over. uh, your Knicks getting a victory was huge for them, as they were close to being one game behind the 6 seed. Sixers getting the win. They're only half game back and one game back from the 6 seed. So hopefully, with Embiid back, we can make some noise. And being Miami was huge because I think we own the tiebreaker with them. Which is so if we got to play in a play in, at least we can home court advantage if we have the same record. Another thing to talk about with the Sacramento Kings losing, eighth seed, Lakers are one game back. So don't be surprised if we look at it and the Lakers are close to fighting for that number 6 spot. So there's a lot of basketball things. I had an episode on you can go to sports_Chris. The link is in my bio where at the time it was 17 days left, 18 days left of the regular season. And I said, look at the difference it can make. And you can see it right now. The Mavericks are now a top 5 team. The Knicks are sliding back and the Sixers could be sliding up. So it's going to be a lot to talk about on Monday. Standings can change in the NBA. All NBA predictions can change. Award predictions can change. So just stay tuned for Monday. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Thank you all for coming out. Kenny, it's always been real, man.
For sure. And real quick before we go,
Mm-hmm.
I just got featured on Voyage Jacksonville. Got an interview that was featured on Voyage Jacksonville. So if you get a minute, go check it out. I'll be posting it on my social media tomorrow. So shout out to Voyage Jacksonville for for doing a feature interview with me. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, that's a wrap. See y'all next week. Peace out.
And the key, tempo, they time, let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Getting with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goal.